Hey guys, today we're going to be working on the 87 R10. I'm going to be checking the passenger side gas tank to make sure it's getting power, because I think the fuel pump is out along with the sending unit. So we're going to be checking the plug-in to make sure it's getting power. And if we're getting power there, we'll just go ahead and drop the fuel tank. I've got my test light out. We're going to go ahead and drop the fuel tank and get it out so we can either replace the sending unit and the pump as well. We might go ahead and replace the whole fuel tank as well. It hasn't worked since I've had the pickup, so if it does have fuel in it, it's probably full of varnish and everything else. And we'll go ahead and replace the tank, sending unit, pump, and get it working. All right guys, so I had power going to the pump, so it's not a power issue. So I went ahead and dropped the tank. Pretty simple to do, but I ordered a new sending unit and pump, as well as a new gas tank. So once that arrives, we'll get it put in. But got the old tank out for now, and basically we're just waiting on parts to get it put back in. Well, when I get the new pump in, I'll kind of do a quick install video of it. I had to cut these hoses, they're pretty garbage anyway, so we'll replace those with EFI hoses and clamps once the new pump and assembly and everything gets here. We'll be reusing the hanger, the straps, the fill neck, and the hoses as well. But other than that, the tank will be brand new, sender will be brand new, pump will be brand new. Hopefully that'll solve our issue. We are getting power to the plug, getting 12 volts actually. On these 87s, there's the fuel pump relay, you can run a hot wire directly to it to kick the pump on to test them. Pump wouldn't kick on, but I tested the plug after doing that on the passenger tank, and we got volts to it, so I'm thinking the pump is dead, but there's gas in that tank, and it's been sitting so long that I imagine it's got varnish and everything else in it, so it's easier to just replace the tank. I actually put a 87 TBI tank in that one because it's running the aftermarket fuel injection, and it's got the fuel tray in the bottom. This one, it should have the fuel tray, which I'll clean all this out and look at it. If it works, I may just keep it for a parts tank if I ever need one. But basically, once we get the parts in, I'll do a video of putting the sender in and all that, putting the straps on, and I'll try to get some footage of putting it back under the truck. I had so much going on, I didn't try to capture any footage of me taking it out. It's pretty simple. 8 bolts holds it to the frame. Then you got a couple other bolts here and there, and then obviously the 3 hoses that go to the sender. I think it's 3/8, 5/16, and looks like 1/4 inch. But I'll put, I know TBIs only have like up to 15 pounds of pressure, but I'll probably get like Gates brand fuel injection hose and fuel injection clamps just as a preventative measure. Not that I probably need to, but if I'm already down there, I might as well do it. So that's what we got going on today. This video will probably come out in a couple days from now when I get all the parts, but basically I've got everything out from under it. I got a mess going on underneath, but we'll get to it, and I'll be back with you. So right now we're working on getting the old tank out of the straps. It's 2 nuts that hold the straps on. It's an 11/16 on each side. I put them back on the straps after I got them loose. I didn't lose them. These are the 4 bolts I was mentioning earlier that holds the straps to the frame rail. Actually, the hangers to the frame rail. So once we got the straps already loose, I'll need to replace the isolator mat, so that way we don't get any squeaks with the new tank. These are pretty worn out and falling apart. I've already got the hose broke loose. Just gotta break them free from the tank. It's got a little bit of fuel in it, and it smells pretty varnishy, so I imagine the tank's coated in varnish as well. I've had the pickup for almost a year now. Tank's never worked, but we're gonna, after I get this cleaned up a little bit, I'll get it vacuumed out, then pull the sender and pump, see if I can see anything wrong with it. Obviously it's not working, so something wrong with it, but the new tank should be here tomorrow. This video will be a couple days long. Obviously, got the tank pulled on the first day, everything like that. Tank should be here tomorrow, so I'll record putting it inside the hangers and strapping it back up. Then once the cinder and pump gets here, we'll get that thrown in a video also. And then I'll try to catch some footage of it going back under the truck as well, but I don't know if I'll be able to do that or not. We also bought some new fuel hose for it, so we can replace that old worn out hose. It's a Gates brand. It's rated up to 50 PSI, which is more than we'll need. Also I got some hose clamps around here somewhere from when I put the EFI on the other pickup that I never used, so we'll end up running those, I imagine. But I mean, the tank doesn't look too rusty. I know a lot of these, when they set in this little protection, they get dirt and everything else underneath them and kind of rusted out that way, but this one seems to be all right. Pretty low mile pickup from what I've gathered. I think it's got 40-something thousand on the clock, but I can't tell if it's rolled over or not. I imagine not. Still a pretty good run on the old pickup, but so we're gonna get this off, and I'll come back with you once I get the cinder out. All right, we got the old pump out of the old tank just to kind of see what went wrong. As you can see, the fuel line eroded, probably just from being in gas for so long. But I imagine it wouldn't get no fuel, it's just all falling apart. You can that's what's left of the hose. Don't know how well you can see that, but it's just got 8. That's what ethanol fuel will do. Imagine regular gas would do it too, but I know ethanol fuel is hard on rubber hoses. So, but we ordered a new one. We'll get it put in whenever it gets here. But I figured I might as well pull this one apart just to kind of see what it looked like, see if I could diagnose why it quit. But the fuel strainer looks like it's pretty gummed up as well, the old screen. But it's got quite a bit of junk in it. It's pretty worn out as well. The old pump probably just starved of fuel or been ran too low too many times, I imagine. It's got quite a bit of gas. Can't really, there you can see the fuel level right there. But if you don't know how to get these lock rings off, basically they go in like this. Get them put in, I'll show you. So say it's like this, your lock ring. You can hammer, there's 3 little tabs on the top. You just hammer them and slide it all the way around. Then your ring will come out. Basically, to install it, you'll just reverse the process, obviously. But that's what happened to the pump. So we're gonna get the new one put in when it gets here. Okay guys, we got the new gas tank in. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna get this one broke down, get all of the parts cleaned up as far as like the hoses, get all the crud off of them. I picked up some new hose clamps, just an assortment of all different sizes. So that way we can run new hose clamps on it. I may even, it's a little rainy outside today here in Oklahoma, so if it dies down a little bit, I may, once I get the tank out of here, scrub these brackets down with some degreaser soap, get it washed up real nice and let it dry. I may even throw some black paint on it. But once we get that out of there, if the rain dies down, we'll do that. If not, we'll just throw it back in. This isn't a rubber mat that isolates the straps. I've actually got these like fiber absorption mats I might try out, see how they do. They're pretty durable, so I might just run those in there. That's what the other one seems to be, about the same material. So we'll just isolate it with that if I can't find any rubber around here. So once we get that done, I'll come back. All right, guys, I got the filler neck and hoses cleaned up along with the cap. I use WD-40 and just paper towels on the hoses. Shines up rubber and plastic pretty good, makes it look pretty new. Then I just took these inside and hit them with some just Dawn and hot water. Scrubbed them pretty good. That's kind of just caked on there, won't really come off, but it all looks pretty decent. And I'm gonna reassemble this with new hose clamps, and I can get it put on the new tank. And once we do that, we'll start getting this cleaned up. All right, guys, I got it reattached. I positioned all my hose clamps where I can adjust them while it's in the pickup, so I can get the filler neck at the right angle and everything like that. They're just sorted on there tight. Not too bad, but I positioned them all where I can reach them from the bottom. Makes it a little bit easier to adjust. Now we're gonna tear apart the old tank and start getting it. Got the old tank out of the tray. So what I'm gonna do is, there's 4 bolts holding this plastic onto the hangers. So what I'll do is just undo those so I can get the hangers out of there. We'll get all the old material scraped out of them. It's just falling apart right now anyways, a little bit there. That one all, thinking most of it went on the tank on that side. So we'll get all that, get the, I think it's died down enough we can go outside and scrub it down, some degreaser soap, make it look a little bit better. Hit it with some WD-40, shine it up. Probably only lasts a little bit, or a bunch of stuff will stick to it, so who knows. But right now I'm gonna get this busted loose and I'll be right back. All right, guys, we had everything washed up after we're disassembly. Got it cleaned up. It's not perfect, but it'll be under the truck, so I'm not too worried about it. Just wanted to get some of the main chunks of grease and dirt and whatnot that was on it from just over the years of buildup. So I figured I would scrub it down a little bit, knock some of the big chunks off, and that's what we did. So that's where we're at. I'm gonna let this dry for a little bit and we'll start reassembly. All right, guys, we got it reassembled. I put the straps on first, and then I put the plastic cover around it. I had to clearance a few items to make it fit right. Had to bend each one of these like pinch welds back, or had to clearance them down with a hammer just to get them to fit inside the straps on both sides, on both straps. And then one of these, this corner piece right there, kind of, I don't know if you're able to see it with the hoses. Had to bend it down to fit inside the tray, but other than that, went all pretty smooth. Should be ready to go back in the truck once we get the cinder and pump, which hopefully that'll be here. I think Tuesday is what it's saying on the shipping, but you can see the fuel tray inside there for the TBI. It's supposed to keep a constant supply of fuel for it without sloshing away. It's not really baffled much as just a fuel tray. Kind of hard to see, but this tank came with a new lock ring and O-ring that we'll put on with the cinder. Then I gotta find my fuel injection clamps, or I'll just use those new hose clamps I got. I got some small ones for the fuel lines also, if I needed them. But once we get the cinder in, I'll show installing that, then try to capture a little footage of putting it back in the truck. All right, guys, quick update. We've got the new cinder and pump installed inside the tank. We've got the new hoses attached with fuel injection clamps, so they should not go anywhere. I might bend that one out just so they don't rub together, create a leak. So we're about to start installing under the pickup. I'm gonna try to capture some of that footage, see what we can get, but not really a huge priority. There's other videos online of taking a gas tank out, but so plug-ins exactly the same, so we shouldn't have no issues there. Have one ground, or have the ground I just cut off the last tank. I gotta get loose and reattach. Once we get it under there, everything should plug right back in. We'll test it before we fully install it, but probably get a couple bolts in, hook everything up, make sure we're getting power to it, and then we'll, if it's working, we'll just go fill it up, make sure the cinder's still working, everything like that. I thought about doing a video on how to install a lock ring, but I had my kids out here playing. I didn't really want them to have to stop so I could record. So, hey guys, we got the tank put in, and we're about to test it out. We went and got some fuel. I wasn't able to capture any video of it going in. I was working by myself. There was just a little too much trying to install it and record, so I didn't capture any of that footage. But we just filled it up. We had power going to it. I tested it. I heard the pump kick on, so we're about to switch it over and see if the pickup stays running. All right, we're going out of the right hand tank, and as you can see, we're still driving. So we now have dual tanks working. So that's 32 gallons of total fuel. It'd be nice. At the end of May, actually, we're going to C10 Nationals down in Fort Worth at the Texas Motor Speedway. So if anyone will be down there, Ron Burgundy will be there. I'll be there. My wife, kids, my family. We're going to be checking out all the old vehicles. Have this one down there. Hopefully I can get it lowered by then. If not, maybe the vendors there will have some good discounts on some lowering kits or whatnot, and we'll pick it up there. But sorry I wasn't able to get any video of me putting the tank back under the truck. So if you like the video, please subscribe, comment, like, and I'll catch you on the next one.